Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to automatically restart your Minecraft server without using any plugins or mods. I spent a while trying to find a solution to this, so I just kind of want to spread this information to anyone else in my position. And yeah, so I'm using it for a mod pack server, and these kind of things, it's really hard to install plugins or add any mods or anything to it, so it works really great for this kind of stuff. You're going to need this program called AutoIt. Um, I'll link it in the description. It's basically just a simple scripting language for automating the Windows GUI, so you can control different aspects of your operating system through automated scripts that you can program. It might sound a little daunting, but I'm going to provide the script in the description. You should be able to just copy and paste it, so no headache. And here's just a little demonstration. So if we just open this guy, you'll see it automatically input that. The server will broadcast that it will be restarting in 10 seconds. And it's automatically going to close this, but if you can catch it, it issued the stop command. So it'll gracefully stop itself, and then after a few seconds, it should close out that window. That wasn't me. It presses a key on its own, and it'll close that window for you. Okay, so we're going to want to come to the AutoIt download website, and I will link this in the description. We're going to want to scroll down here, and you'll see download AutoIt right here, the full installation. This is what you're going to want. So we'll click download. It'll download a zip file. You just double click that to open it. And you shouldn't have to extract this, but if you have any issues with the installation, I would recommend just extract it to your desktop or whatever, and double click this. It'll ask for administrator privileges, just click yes. And here's the setup wizard. So we'll just click next. Here's the license agreement. I already have it installed, so we can just uninstall so I can walk you through it. I'll just use the x86 tools. It's for 32-bit, but I mean, it works. Um, Select the default option for .au3 files. This is the AutoIt file extension. You want to run the script. So when you issue the command to open the file, you're running the script, not editing it. So make sure that's selected. We'll click next. Just leave all this as is. You don't need to worry about it really. You can click next. You can change this if you want. If you have multiple drives or whatever, I just left it here. It's a pretty lightweight installation, as you can see. We'll hit install, and it will take a minute, or maybe not. Last time it took a minute. It's breezing through it this time. There we go. You can unclick this. You don't need to see the release notes if you don't want to. And then hit finish, and you're done. So, yeah, so once AutoIt is installed, you can just right click your desktop, click on new, or hover over new. You'll now see AutoIt v3 script. You'll want to click that. You can name the file whatever you want. Just name it AutoStop, Stop Server, as you can see over here, whatever you want. And then you can right click that and edit script right there. You can also edit this with pretty much any text editor you want. You can even open it with just plain old Notepad. I was having issues with the AutoIt editor earlier. Notepad it works just fine. So here we have a blank script. In the description, you'll see a bunch of code. It'll look like this right here. All you want to do, just take this from the description, right click, copy, right click, paste. You're done. If you don't want to mess with anything, if you don't want to do anything else, you're done with this scripting part. And if I remember, I'll try to add a little timestamp so you could skip ahead. If you want to be able to change this and add a message say 10 minutes in advance or an hour in advance, or if you want to add some extra stuff in here, do some other stuff. I'll give you a little explanation of what's actually going on here. So I don't actually want this one. I'm just gonna open this guy right here. Okay. So we're starting out here. This if statement is pretty much doing exactly what it's saying. The computer is saying if window, if window exists, and then is looking for the server window, which will be a command prompt window. If your server's running and you look at the top of it, you should see this. If you don't and you see a different path, you can change this and this to that path, and it should work. So if that window exists, then WinActivate, so it's pretty much clicking on that window. It's making that the selected activated primary window. So now that we have that window selected, we can send commands to the server. So we're going to send this, and it's going to type this out into the server. I don't know a whole ton about the scripting language. There's a whole ton of documentation in here. I will link this in the description as well. It's fairly simple. I did some research, and it's fairly simple. I would recommend looking into it. But send, and then so what you're doing here is you're pretty much just typing something out inside of these quotation marks. So you're just typing into the console with this is all you're doing. So it's as if you were typing, say, server restarting in 1 minute, and the server will broadcast that message. After that, we're going to hit send again, and then right here we're pressing the enter key, and you're doing that by these curly brackets. That's how you actually target a key on the keyboard. So by putting these curly brackets on there, it's telling this program you actually want to press the enter key, which will send this message that it previously typed out. So you can change this to whatever you want, you know. Alright, and then we have the sleep function, and that is pretty much telling the program to halt for the specified number of milliseconds. There are 1,000 milliseconds in 1 second. So we're right here, we have 50 seconds because we have 50,000 milliseconds. So it's saying, what it's doing is broadcasting that the server will start in 1 minute, saying enter, so it's actually broadcasting that, waiting for 50 seconds before it moves on to this next line. So then you have a delay. So I do WinActivate again. You don't have to. Just in case any other window gets selected, it'll just ensure that this is the window that's selected while these commands are executing. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing as above, but for a shorter time span. So now we want to give, say, a 10-second warning. So we'll do the same thing, broadcast that message, hit enter, and then we'll sleep for 10,000 milliseconds, which is 10 seconds. And after that, we'll activate the window again, just for redundancy. And then this time, we'll actually send the stop command. You can also send save all, sleep, and then you could give it, say, 10 seconds. So it has 10 seconds to save everything. We could even do 5 seconds, should be plenty. So you see, it's pretty simple just to write something like that out. Send save all. So it's going to send that save all command. Wait 5 seconds. Then it'll send. Oh. You might have even caught that before me. We have to hit that enter key afterwards. Don't make that mistake. We'll wait 5 seconds after hitting that enter key, and then we'll send the stop command. Hit enter again, and we'll give it 15 seconds just to make sure everything's stopped. Let's make it 10. So we issue the stop command through the console, waits 10 seconds. After that, we press a key. It could be any key. It's just to close out that prompt. And if, for an if statement, in this programming language, you have to have an end if statement, which ends the if statement. It's very simple. And then exit, once it reaches this line, it'll stop the program. It'll close it out. Otherwise, if you say run this program and for some reason close your window, your server manually, before the program fully executes, it will not close. And next time you go to open your server, it'll try issuing commands, and you'll have to go into Task Manager. You can just right click right here, Task Manager, and you'll have to close out the AutoIt script. You'll see it by its name in Task Manager. So that's it. So I'll put this right here in the description, and this should work. If this is what you want, that works. If you want to change it to an hour warning, you know, put the number in milliseconds of an hour right there, and you're on your way. So very simple. And then as we demonstrated earlier, if you were to just run that manually, that would shut down your server gracefully. That would work just fine. But what we actually want to do is do this automatically. So let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, and like I said, I would just emphasize this. I would recommend testing the script before you set up the task schedule, the task scheduler. You don't want to come back to check on your server 12 hours later and find out something didn't work, you know. So just double click on the file, ensure that everything works. If it does, then we'll move on. Okay, so now that you've tested your script and you know that everything's working as it should, the next thing we're going to want to do is actually compile this into an executable file that Windows can actually run. So right here, you can use compile script x86, x64, whatever you want. I'm just going to do compile script. It'll work just fine. Just want to give it a second. And you should see a new file pop up. There we go. So now you can see before it had this .au3 extension, and that is an AutoIt script. Now we have an .exe. So this is an actual executable file. And if you want, you can even delete this file now. You don't need it anymore. So now that we have our executable, we're going to want to open our search bar and then go to Task Scheduler. It's got the little stopwatch. Sweet. And then you're going to want to, in the top right up here, click Create Basic Task. Give that a second. For the name, just name it whatever you want, something useful. Stop server. Description is wherever you want, once again. Stops the Minecraft server. Sure, there we go. I want this to happen daily. This is all kind of self-explanatory. So I want my server to restart daily. We'll do that. Recur every 1 day. I want it to happen every day. If you did every 2 days, every 3 days, so on and so forth. We can have this take effect today, and I want it to start at 11. Just have it start at 11 o'clock. You can also synchronize across time zones. Let me actually just show you real quick. I had actually gone in the script and changed it a little bit. So now it'll give a 1 hour warning, a 5-minute warning, a 1-minute warning, 10-second, and then it'll save all, and then stop. So that's why I'm setting it for 11 o'clock. So that it'll display that first message an hour before the server restarts. So that's what I want. So we'll click next. What action do you want the task to perform? We want to start a program. So we'll click next again. It's asking us what this program is. We're going to browse. And then we will go to our desktop where that program is located. And then we'll locate this executable that we created. Not the script, we want the executable. And you can either just double click this or click it and click open. And that'll bring you to the path of that script pretty much, or the executable. Right now you don't need to worry about arguments or anything, so we'll just click next. Review everything. Everything looks good. Click finish. And there we go. If this doesn't pop up, you might need to hit this refresh button. And there we go. Stop server at 11 a.m. every day. It'll open that executable we just created. And that executable, an hour after being opened, will save the server and then shut it down and close the command prompt on its own. That's great, but we have to start our server back up, right? So I actually have my server on a server PC that I have, so I'm just going to create an example. Start server, whatever. So just pretend this is your server, right? And this is your batch file right here, start server dot whatever, it should be bat, doesn't really matter. Just for example, say this is your server and we want to reopen this start server file. So what we're going to want to do, create another basic task, name it whatever you want, start server, and this one will be slightly different. Doing the same thing, we want it to happen daily because we want it to start right back up after we close it. We'll click next. We'll also have it start today, whatever. And so in the script, we're giving a 1 hour warning, and then we're waiting a full hour. So it'll actually be 12 o'clock when it sends this message. And I'm just not really going to be bothered to, calculate whatever. It would take 5 minutes, but I don't feel like it. So this message will actually be sent at 12 o'clock. So at 12:05, this message will be sent. 12:06, this message will be sent. So we can expect the server to be shut down completely by 12:07. The window should be closed. So what I'm going to do is set this to 12:07 because I want the window to open after we've closed the other one. And if you synchronize across time zones with one task, you want to do it with the other one. Click next. We're going to want to start a program again. And then we're doing the same thing. So we click browse. We're going to navigate to our server. We're going to find this start server.bat file, whatever your server file is called or whatever. Then we're going to open it again. We need to do one more thing though. Navigate to your server folder where all your server files are located. And then at the top here, just click this. You see when I clicked it, it brought up this path. What we're going to want to do is Control C or right click, copy, and we want that start in. There we go. Otherwise it's just going to open the file, I think from PowerShell or something, and it's not actually going to open the file from this folder. So specifying that start in tells it to actually locate this folder and open it inside this folder so it can use all the files inside. So we'll click next. Once again, we'll just review everything. We want it daily 12:07. So between the downtime with the server shutting off and the amount of time it takes to turn back on, if people are logging off at 12 o'clock, so they're offline when the server restarts, you could probably expect about a 10-minute outage in total, which isn't too bad, honestly. If it's completely automated task, your server goes down for 10 minutes, completely refresh every day. Not bad. There we go. We'll refresh again just to make sure it pops up. And we see start server at 12:07 p.m., stop server at 11 a.m. And then you can click on it and you can go through the actions and triggers and just verify everything. So there we go. That should be it. Yeah, these will execute every day. You're gonna want to keep the file, that executable, keep this on your desktop or keep it wherever you specified that path to. So you can see there's this path right here, C users Birkin desktop. So it's looking for this program on the desktop. So if you move this somewhere like a different folder, it's not going to be able to find it anymore. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, and that should do it. I hope that helps. If anyone has any questions or anything, if there's anything I can help anybody with, I'm more than glad to help you out in the comments. Just let me know. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and have a great day.